I never thought I'd be standing in my own condo garage. A finger jabbed in my face, two strangers calling me a thief, and then hearing one of them tell 911 that I had a gun. That lie could have gotten me killed in minutes. And the worst part, they weren't even after me. They wanted to steal the one thing that symbolized everything my wife and I had worked for her brand new Porsche. That morning had started out so simple. I'd polished the car until the pink metallic paint gleamed like a jewel. It was Sarah's dream machine, a promise fulfilled after 10 years of grinding through late nights, student debt, leaky apartments, and meals of instant noodles. That Porsche was a decade's worth of sacrifice wrapped in steel and leather. I was going to surprise her, pull up outside the restaurant where she was hosting a charity luncheon, hand her the keys, and watch her face light up. That was the plan. Instead, I turned around to find chaos wearing leopard print leggings and a bathrobe. They called themselves Agnes and Ethel. Everyone else in the building called them the twins from the penthouse. They were infamous, untouchable, always dripping with entitlement. Agnes, the louder one, accused me of stealing her car. She claimed she'd been waiting 6 months for delivery and that clearly the dealership had mistakenly handed it to the first lowlife they saw. Her sister Ethel just smirked, robe hanging open like she'd wandered in from some twisted spa day. I tried to keep calm. "Ma'am, you're mistaken. This is my wife's car registered to her name, apartment 1804. But logic was pointless. They weren't confused, they were malicious. "He's probably armed." Ethel hissed loud enough for me to hear. "Call the cops." Agnes pulled out a jewel-encrusted iPhone and in a heartbeat transformed into a trembling victim. Her voice quavered as she told the 911 operator there was a large, threatening black man stealing her car, possibly reaching for a gun. My heart froze. I knew exactly how this could end. I stood perfectly still, arms folded, and hit record on my own phone. If they were going to invent a story, I'd make sure the truth was caught on camera. Still, those minutes waiting for the sirens stretched forever. My brain replayed every what if the officers arrived ready for a shootout. What if they saw only what Agnes had painted with her lies? When the patrol car screeched into the garage, red and blue flashing across the concrete, I felt the weight of survival settle on me. 2 officers stepped out, Stan, older with a mustache and a 1,000-yard stare, and Sanchez, sharp-eyed and young. "Hands where we can see them," Stan barked. I raised my palms, moved slow, kept my voice even. "Officers, this is my wife's car. I live here. These women are lying, and I have video. They patted me down clean. I showed them the recording." Agnes's hateful screech. Ethel whispering, "Tell them he has a gun." The fake sobbing 911 call. All of it played back in crystal clarity. The shift in the officers' faces was instant. The sisters' smug act cracked. Stan's voice dropped quiet but furious. "Ma'am, filing a false report about a firearm is a felony. Do you realize what you've done?" They got a citation, a slap compared to what they deserved, but I thought it was over. I was wrong. A few days later, an envelope slid under our door, official letterhead from the Grand View Condo Board. A complaint, accusing me of running an illegal car rental business out of the garage, of intimidating 2 elderly women, of making other residents feel unsafe. The punishment, a $5,000 fine, loss of parking privileges, even the threat of forcing us to sell our home. I felt like the floor had dropped out beneath me. It wasn't just the sisters anymore. It was the system weaponized against me. I sat at the table, letter in hand, wondering if maybe I was cursed for daring to believe I belonged here. For a split second, I thought about giving up selling the condo, taking Sarah away from this toxic place. Maybe peace was worth more than pride. But then Sarah's hand gripped mine. Her eyes, usually soft, were blazing. "No, this is our home. They don't get to scare us out. Not again." That snapped me back, and then came our allies. Leo, the night security guard, quietly admitted he'd seen everything on the garage camera's footage with audio all archived. And Ms. Davenport, a litigator with a reputation for tearing HOA boards to shreds, leaned across her desk after hearing our story and grinned like a wolf. We're not just going to fight this, we're going to bury them. The deeper we dug, the stranger it got. Davenport's investigator uncovered the family's dirty laundry. Agnes and Ethel once had a younger sister, Beatrice. She'd been an artist, a rebel disowned by their father for marrying a man they didn't approve of. And her dream car, a pink Porsche. She'd sketched it, painted it, told her daughter about it. That daughter was Elena, Sarah's mom. Which meant my wife wasn't just driving her dream car, she was driving her grandmother's dream. And Agnes and Ethel, who'd spent their lives erasing Beatrice, couldn't stand seeing that dream alive in our garage. The day of the board hearing felt like a circus. Arthur Pennington, smug board president and bridge partner of the twins, sat at the head of the table. Agnes and Ethel played frail victims, tears flowing as they spun lies about me, menacing them. Arthur nodded along. Then Davenport stood. Calm, lethal. She played the 911 call, the police report, the security footage. It should have been checkmate. But Arthur smirked and declared me guilty anyway, fines intact. I nearly lost it. But Davenport just smiled coldly. "Thank you, Mr. Pennington. You've just doubled the damages we'll be seeking in court." The showdown came at a settlement conference. On one side of the table, me, Sarah, her mother, Elena, and Davenport, with her mountain of evidence. On the other, the sisters, their jittery lawyer, and Arthur looking like he might faint. Davenport laid out the videos, the citations, the vandalism, the harassment. Then she listed demands: 7-figure payout, public apology. Arthur's resignation, forced sale of the sisters' penthouse. Their lawyer sputtered, "Outrageous." Davenport didn't even flinch. Then came the hammer. Elena, who'd been silent, leaned forward. "Do you recognize me?" she asked. The sisters blinked, confused. She let the pause stretch before speaking again. "I'm Elena, daughter of Beatrice." "Your sister." The effect was nuclear. Agnes gasped. Ethel's jaw slackened. The color drained from their faces. Elena's voice shook but grew stronger with every word. She told them how they'd mocked her mother's art, destroyed her marriage, erased her from the family. And now, decades later, her daughter Sarah had that very pink car her mother once dreamed of. "The dream you tried to kill didn't die. It lived. And it's parked right outside this building." Silence. The sisters sat hollow, exposed, every ounce of arrogance gone. Their lawyer looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. Davenport slid a paper across the settlement terms. "Accept, or we go public, and the world will know what you did to your sister." Ethel gave the tiniest nod. Agnes slumped, whispering, "We accept." That was it. The board, humiliated, Arthur forced out the sisters, ordered to sell their penthouse and leave forever. Their reign of entitlement ended in a single meeting, and I sat there watching them crumble, realizing how close I'd come to being another name in a headline. All because two bitter women couldn't accept that a black man could buy his wife a car. In the end, truth was the only weapon I needed. And the lesson: entitlement and hate will always collapse under the weight of their own lies if you have the courage to stand your ground.